And welcome everyone to a Missouri Valley Conference Katz Chat. I'm Andy Katz. Pleased to be joined by Dana Ford from Missouri State and the Bears. Now 5-7, coming off a very heartbreaking loss at Southern Illinois. You got Drake next. Condre Cook has clearly been your most consistent player, your leading scorer, with basically less than a month to go in the season. Where is this team at in terms of trying to move up that seed chain before we get to the march to the arch?
Well, I think we're probably like most outside of the top two in the league and above the bottom two. I think those four teams have kind of solidified themselves in terms of Northern Iowa, Southern Illinois at the top. Evansville, Illinois State have both struggled a little bit. So we're just trying to get as high as we can. I think right now we're about seventh or eighth, I think, somewhere in that range. And what we're trying to do is just continue to get better one day at a time and just try to, hopefully play our best ball over this last month of the season and continue to believe that we have enough to beat anyone in our league as long as we're playing well and we're forcing them to play bad.
So, if you are playing your best basketball, what does that look like, Dana?
Well, for us, it's got to start defensively. Our league is not a league in which you're going to score a lot of points. So our best basketball is becoming a lot better defensive team from the three-point line, and then a lot better defensive team inside the three-point line without fouling. A lot of our losses in league play have come when we've been out free throwed, and we don't do a good enough job of getting there ourselves. So to combat that, we've got to stop sending people to the free throw line.
How has this team handled the adversity of coming back after a loss?
We've had a lot of adversity this year. When you're picked to be first and you end up seventh or eighth with 6 to go, you've dealt with some adversity all year. I think our guys have shown a good spirit. I think our guys' work ethic has improved. We're starting to play as hard as we can, which is a lot different than playing hard. And those things show me that they can deal with some adversity. We're still dealing with it. We've dealt with it all year. Like you mentioned, our last game was a heartbreaker, especially after playing well the previous game. And now putting ourselves in a position where when you're in a race, every game counts. But really, every game right now really counts. And as the games continue to go by, each game is bigger and bigger.
Yeah, so I remember in the preseason and talking to some of the coaches in the league, and they kept mentioning Missouri State to me. Don't sleep on Missouri State. They certainly could win our league. Why do you think your peers in the conference had a lot of faith in you guys in the preseason that you guys could be the favorite?
Well, I think it always starts with who you got coming back. We had Tulio da Silva, the newcomer of the year, coming back, and then as well as Keandre Cook, who you mentioned earlier. And then we added some transfers. We had some transfers sitting out. And I don't know if it was just that it was talent, but we also had experience. And a lot of times when you have talent and experience, and the guys that we had sitting out had all come from NCAA tournament programs. Josh Hall, Nevada, Tyreek Dixon, Middle Tennessee. Then we added Lamont West in the spring from West Virginia. All those guys have actually played championship level basketball. And so I guess when you look at us on paper, it would be a wise choice to pick that. But obviously the games aren't played on paper. And but I didn't toot our horns. I didn't pick us first in the preseason because I know what it takes to win this league. And I quite have not seen that yet. And that's something that we're still searching for. But I could see why other people would pick us.
But with that being said, knowing that it could be within you, and there's still a lot of basketball left to be played, how much faith and optimism does that give you, knowing that it's still a potential because this team still has not reached its potential this season?
Well, we're very optimistic. Northern Iowa has really beaten us twice. They've really taken it to us twice. Other than that, we've either beaten people or had a chance to win the game. So we're very optimistic about that. Our struggles are no secrets. Offensively, we don't make the game easy for one another. Although our last two games were averaging 17 assists a game, which is a fantastic number considering that we're now playing without a true point guard. Our only true point guard is a freshman, Ford Cooper, who actually graduated high school early and reclassed up, and he's still trying to figure things out. But we started to play through our post more. Our two best players inside, Gage Prim, Tulio da Silva, are starting to be even more comfortable with each other. With each other. So we started to do some things better offensively. But for us, it's defense. It's can we play good enough defense to win in this league? And it doesn't have to be as good as the best in our league, but it's got to be on par with the league. It can't be. I think efficiency wise, we're closer to the bottom. We've got to move to the middle because offensively, we feel like we can score enough points.
All right, got Drake coming up. How do you beat him?
Well, again, it starts with defending. We've got to do a good job with Penn at the point of attack, and then the big fella Robbins around the basket. Our last game, we allowed for the other team's two best players to beat us, and you just can't allow that to happen. We've got to try to do a good job on those guys, and then keep their other guys in check, and then offensively continue to take care of the ball, continue to throw it inside, play through our post players. And hopefully get to the free throw line. When you look at some of our losses this year, we're getting out free throw 26-6 or 18-4. You just can't win games not being the more physical team. So we've got to make some adjustments.
Well, Danny, I appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of the season as you're certainly starting off with this Drake game on the 12th.